Morning, it's only about 2 minutes past 7. You're watching this, it's got to mean this. I couldn't have said it better myself. Where are you to today by, you ask? Some of you will know, some of you won't. Let's get down the water side and have a better look. So here we are down on the water side. Now I've had to come across a railway track up behind me, walk along, nothing dangerous. Just be mindful of the man, because I'm not sure if the man would like me coming down here, but you know, sometimes I just ride with the devil on one shoulder and my auntie on the other, as they say. So anyway, here we are. Let me show you on the map where we are. Yep, you guessed it. We are at the River Dart, aren't we? We're at Kingswear. Across. There you go. It's Royal Naval College there. King Charles went there and he said, it's boss. Right, where are we going today? We're going to today. Right, let me show you on the map. Well, this is going to be I was thinking about this on the way down. This is going to be a Castle and Heron special, okay? So we're going to head downstream, as you'll see on the map there. And we're going to head down to Kingswear Castle. Kingswear? Kingswear? I say Kingswear, you say Kingswear. I say Cockwood, you say Cockwood. Doesn't matter, does it? Right, we're going to head down there, down that way. Tide's slightly with us. It's not spring tide, it's not neap, it's like in between. Seep tides, that's what they call them. And we'll head on down and see if we can check out some castles and get some Heron footage as well on this Heron stroke castle spectacular, because people don't combine the two subject matters enough in my view. So this is that niche. Let's get out and do this. So here we are, folks, out in the middle of the river. Let me show you around, see what's going on out here. They say, oh, there's a lot of money out there. There's not a lot of money out here. There's a lot of boats out here which are worth a lot of money. The tide is pushing me that way, okay? You've got little walkways coming out, little jetties coming out. There's no way through there. So if you do ever come out of here, don't do it on the middle of a tide, because, or be on your knees, I would suggest, because you've got a fair bit of current if the tide's going out that way. What you don't want to do is get trapped underneath one of these jetties. So just be really mindful of that, and don't let it frighten you or anything. Always stay considered and everything, but just be mindful. That's what we need to do. We need to risk assess our situation, but without being Looney Tunes like we seem to do these days, if you know what I mean. Over there, of course, is Dartmouth, and that's where I did my not paddleboarding video, which you can have a quick look at. That gives you a little bit of history about Dartmouth as well. Quite an important thing about the American independence, all kicks off at Dartmouth, so have a look at that. Also got my past the adventures over there as well. So if you want to get a good old oggy in Dartmouth, that's the place to go. So I'm drifting out now, drifting down. It's beautiful here, isn't it? Conditions are perfect. Ferry going out in the distance. That's a lower ferry, okay. A couple of greater blackback gulls up there on top of an old boat, fire going, so someone's living on that bad boy. And on we go, heading downstream. So I'm an hour before low tide, so I can follow the tide down and then follow the tide back. See what I'm doing? Yeah, thunk about that. Let's go. One thing I like to do on the video channel, on the show, is give you guys some different views of the world, of familiar places that you see from a different perspective when you're out paddleboarding. So nice little castle behind me there, that's the one tick off the box. But there are other castles in the locality, because back in the day, around Henry VIII times, yeah, and before, This was of strategic importance, this estuary. Let me flick the camera around. There are Castilians, as I call them, which are basically protection measures along this stretch of coast. As you can see, it's absolutely beautiful out here at the moment. In the distance there, if I zoom in a little, that is Dartmouth Castle, and Kingswear Castle is on the opposite side but a bit further out. So at the moment the tide is pushing me out oh so gently. A lot of buoys to be mindful of the nautical inclinations, I always say, and the ferry will be rattling in behind me in a minute, the lower ferry. Some of these places along here, they say there's money on the water. I'll tell you what, there's money on the shore down here, and I'd imagine that this place is transformed, you know, and I've known it all my life, but some of these properties are like, wow, bit of money's gone into that one, me old China, you know what I mean? Yeah, lovely, isn't it? Sun's coming up now, keep me nice and snuggly. Hat off, on the woods.
When I first came to this island that I called by my own name, I was happy in this fortress. My exile I remained, but the hours grew so empty, and the ocean sent waves.
There you go, folks. Kingswear Castle. I'll change pronunciation as I go on this show. That one is kind of opposite Dartmouth Castle-ish. Not quite. Dartmouth Castle is in there. It's a bit further inside is Dartmouth Castle.
In the figure of a woman, she pulled me out to sea. When you come down to take me home, send my soul away. When you come around, you make me whole. Send my soul away.
So where the blimmin' heck are we now? Let me show you. On the map, which I'll show you if I'm inclined to, you see this little cove in, so I'm past the castle. As you come in here, there's like another castle in here. It's like, let's just build more castles. Yeah, I'll tell you all about that one in a minute. But first, I want to have a bit of brekkie and a bit of drink. Yeah. Whew. So what is this place that I'm at called? Is it called Castle Cove? Or is it called Mill Bay? Well, you've guessed it. This is Mill Bay, which absolutely makes no sense because we've got this beautiful castle behind us. This castle was actually constructed in 1567, and it was basically, they used to call it like a garrison Castilian was the phrase. And what you can see if you look carefully is you can see that there's what we call windows on the side of the castle. That's a giveaway. And then we've got these like bits, that's what they call those bits that go up there, and those are where guys can basically, they can pop their head up in the lower bit there, the little lower bits as we call them. They can pop their head up from the lower bits and they can look out. And of course then what they do, so imagine this situation, it's quite frightening, so you know, for the younger viewer you may want to look away now. Okay, imagine an army of Vikings running up through here, yeah, imagine them running up through here because they want to invade this beach. Why? Well, I can't tell you that because it's covert, but I would think this is the beach. If in all of England you're going to invade a beach, you're going to invade this one. But don't worry, Johnny King over here and the government They used to spend their money wisely back in those days, as they do today. And what they decided to do was build a castle here. This castle was never captured in battle. Yes. What would happen is, as the Vikings attacked here, they might go up around the side there, up to the door. Probably not. They'd probably try and scale this wall. They would chuck stuff from that little chimney, as I call it, from the top, and chuck stuff down. And then if they got sort of, if the guys managed to get in through there, the Vikings it is, they could scarper, as we call it, in through there and up there, and they could then put their head out through the lower bits, as I just explained. And then they can go into this top bit. That is called a top bit. They use that phrase quite a bit. There's a room under the top bit, and there's a table in there. So if finally that they get invaded there, they can hide under the table. And that is basically how that Castilian, that is called, okay, that castle in front of us is called Shimon Tower. That's what they call it, Shimon Tower. Don't know why. There you go, Shimon Tower, folks, for all you guys out there. On we go. I'm going to get back on our boat in a minute. I'm going to give it about 10 minutes and just doss here for a minute. That's a nautical phrase. And then we're going to head on out from Mill Bay, back around, past the castles and in. Yeah. But I'll wait for 10 minutes because the tide will have changed. Sneaky. Right across the river, folks, and now I'm in what they call Warfleet Creek. So this is the Dartmouth side. I was going against the tide a little bit. The tide's almost changing, but of course I can find these little sort of back eddies and stuff. So if I go up the sides, up the edges, it's not too bad. But I think I'm about, I don't know, maybe I misjudged the tide. Maybe I was looking at it last night and it's going to be an hour on, so it's going to be easing down now anyway, so it should be easier to get up through. So there you go. Beautiful places, I suppose, a property. You want to be looking at the water, don't you? That's the thing, and if you're looking at the water, all is good. If you're looking at the sea, even better. But if not, an estuary's next best, isn't it? Beautiful out here, absolutely stunning. Dry land. Good trip, somewhere different today. Not been down here paddleboarding before, but I'll do it again. Maybe you can join me and you can also meet me and be on the water on paddleboarding, schmaddleboarding, flip side. couldn't have said it better myself.